All right, what up, Internet? This is the Pop Geek Podcast, episode 23.
23.
And
Jordan.
today we're going to be talking... Yeah, Jordan. This is the Michael Jordan of episodes right here, I'm pretty sure.
Yes.
So we're going to be talking about Deadpool. I mean, I'm surprised. I don't know about you guys, but like being number one...
Breaking all kinds of records.
Breaking records.
Yeah.
You know, actually coming after, I believe, Guardians of the Galaxy. And definitely for number one R-rated.
Oh, definitely, by far.
By a long shot. We're talking about, so we're going to talk Deadpool, we're going to talk VR units, because the HTC Vive was recently released the price point for its new unit. We're also going to talk a little bit of Rocket League, because it just came out on Xbox, you know.
About time.
We got old pro over here who's been playing it on PlayStation for a long time. And then we're going to talk a little bit about the Division open beta. Mm-hmm. We've talked about the closed beta in the past, so we're not going to rehash too much of the story you guys know about the Division. But yeah, let's get into Deadpool, who I believe opening weekend was $135 million.
$135 million.
It crushed a children's movie, which is kind of apt for this film.
Yeah, by a lot too, because Kung Fu Panda only made $12.5 million that weekend.
Yeah,
it was
like,
ridiculous.
It absolutely hammered Kung Fu Panda, which is amazing because children's movies win out normally anyway because of the you're going to bring a parent and all this stuff, so like every one ticket is 3 tickets, and so that's just kind of amazing. And
also, I did see a lot of parents taking their kids to see Deadpool, which I don't think they understood. That. Well, I think a lot of times too they think, oh, it's a superhero movie.
Yep.
I'll take my kids to it. It's rated R. Whatever, it's superhero. How bad could it be?
Right.
But they don't do the research to realize Deadpool's not the typical superhero.
No.
He's an anti-hero. He's not even a superhero. He doesn't like to be referred to as a superhero.
Right.
Like, there was sex, there's nudity, there's some, there's a lot of gore, obviously, because it's Deadpool. He's like, get cut up and regenerate. But, like, it's R for a reason, guys. Don't take your kids to see this unless they're little hand. Yeah, oh, God, that freaked me out.
But yeah, that's the weirdest thing about this is this might change the overarching superhero thing, because now they have a viable R-rated film. Like they've gone the PG-13 route to open up how big this could be, because that's what they want, is like, how many people can we get in here?
Yeah.
So like when you see Batman and all these other films, they're like, these are dark storylines, but they're like, as long as we back off on the blood and nobody swears, we get the PG-13 and you can bring the kids.
And that's where you get Wolverine Origins.
Yeah. Oh, God.
But apparently the R rating didn't have much of effect on parents bringing their kids along.
Yeah,
exactly.
I'm still surprised by that, and I don't like you said there's been a couple of stories, I mean, with Facebook you can find literally anything, where it's like some angry parent going, I didn't understand why was this so nasty, and I took my children and left, and I'm like, it's R-rated. Like that rating is no joke. And also, they earned it. Like, they knew they were getting the R. And they're like, well, let's get it all the way.
Let's take full advantage of this.
Yeah, because there's no point in half-assing an R.
Yeah,
if you're going to go blood and guts, you got to go full blood and guts. Otherwise, it's not worth it.
But although too, yeah, it was rated R and they used it to its fullest. They didn't go overboard like... it wasn't like 50 Shades of Grey's type of sexuality or nudity. Right. It was just kind of like it fit in the story and fit within the character.
Right.
The R just allowed them to have the character that is true to the comics.
Yes.
And that's what they kind of need with, like, say, for example, Wolverine.
Yes.
Wolverine has freaking claws that should be dismembering people.
Yes.
Why hasn't he dismembered a limb yet in any of his movies?
Well, and that's the next question is everyone's already looking at Wolverine going, well, wait a minute. If this can be successful, we can make the Wolverine film that everyone wants to see.
Exactly.
Now, I'm not going to knock it. Origins was bad. The original was bad. Yeah. That second one was really good.
Yeah, the Wolverine.
The overall issue with Wolverine is you always have to take his power away to make him vulnerable. Yeah. Because he's largely invulnerable. But also, giving him a nasty storyline that's more like some of those comic stories could be awesome. Yeah. And also, you can cross him into Deadpool in a sequel thing, or vice versa. You could have, and not like Origins where you take his mouth away and have that god awful CG battle.
You know what? Have you ever looked at Wolverine? I don't believe for 1 minute that man has never sweared.
Right.
Or swore.
Swore.
Yeah.
He is like 200 years
Whatever.
old, though, so maybe he has old-timey swears.
Yeah.
He'd also probably be super racist.
Doggone it.
Now, my only fear, though, now that the floodgates have opened with the R rating and how successful
Yeah.
it is, that they're going to want to make every comic book movie into an R rating. And
Yeah.
it's like, some don't really need to be. Like,
No.
I've heard rumors talking about Fox wanting to make Fantastic Four to a darker, grittier R rated, more like a...
They were never
more like
gritty to begin with.
Yeah, well, they wanted to make it more like a... what is it? What do they call it? A hypersexual rom-com.
Rom-com, really?
Not rom-com, but like a sexual comedy.
Oh.
You know, where it's more sexually...
They need to do
explicit.
something. It's
Yeah.
either that or just stop rebooting it. Just leave it alone. It just sucks. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Like, it's not great. You know, I mean, they went gritty with Daredevil, and that kind of works because when they went PG-13, that movie was horrible, and the TV series is nasty, but it's almost too grimy. Like, I mean, it's not like dirty, but it's like it's so gritty that it kind of just wears on you a little
Yeah.
bit. Like watching him recover from getting the shit kicked out of him all the time is a really weird sequence that they added in there. It's like if he was a real vigilante.
Yeah. How
He would
recover?
have to lay on the couch for like a week after, a savage beating.
Yeah.
So I think it's interesting. The other interesting crossover would be Spider-Man. Spider-Man is so PG,
Yeah.
I don't see it happen.
but it happened in the comics though.
Yeah, but
Now, would
comics-
you tone Deadpool down or would you ramp Spidey up? Spidey is always Spidey. It's not like when he does crossover with Deadpool, he's like cursing up a storm or like nailing chicks left and right or something like that.
I could see maybe Deadpool doing like a PG-13 cameo in a Spider-Man movie.
Right.
Yeah.
But Spider-Man being in Deadpool, I mean...
It will never happen.
But again, those franchises could cross over more easily than the Avenger crossover, which is supposed to happen.
Yeah.
Because these are Sony properties, and they're lending Spider-Man to the Avengers. But we still don't know how that's going to play out.
Yeah.
Because we know what the MCU has laid out the universe and how it's all going to happen. But the Spider-Man little bonus piece, I don't know where that plays in. Like, is he going to drop in on this, the latest story? Because they're kind of going they're going the Gauntlet of Power.
Infinity War.
Infinity
War.
Gauntlet, yeah. And so, like, do you drop Spider-Man into that? Maybe. It'd be kind of cool. Because there's also the rumor that, like, Hulk is gone for a while. So you could bring in that extra hero to kind of help out.
Here's a cool R-rated movie. Hulk versus Deadpool versus Wolverine.
Yeah.
Just have Hulk just rip them apart and they just grow back together.
Yeah. I think that happened one time in the comics.
Yeah.
It was on Planet Hulk, I think.
Deadpool and Wolverine are both immortal, aren't they?
For the most part, yeah. Although Wolverine ages.
Yes.
But like really, really slow because remember in the
for
future,
200 years old, he looks fantastic.
Yes, I mean Hugh Jackman.
To finish up this little segment, I want to go over just how much it's made so far
Yeah,
and like
yeah,
where
do
it
it.
is in the rankings. It's according to today. Yep, today. It has earned 235.4 million in the U.S. alone.
Jeez. It hasn't even opened internationally.
It has internationally,
Oh, it has,
but
okay.
just domestically, it's 235 million,
Jeez.
which makes it the sixth highest grossing R-rated movie ever. The Passion of the Christ holds the record right now for only
That was R-rated.
yeah. Passion of the Christ.
It was gross.
Oh, yeah.
Yes,
Oh,
I
yeah.
watched it. It was terrifying, but
but its
I didn't
record,
know that was full R.
yeah, its record is only 370.8 million.
Oh, it could.
So
could
it's
easily
on
get
its
to that.
track, yeah.
Yeah.
So you're saying there's a chance.
Right. I assumed a Tarantino film would be up there, but like, Pulp Fiction didn't have the open that.
Yeah.
Because it was such an indie film at the time.
But then it's also passed box office totals for other recent Marvel character movies. For
Yeah.
example, Fantastic Four, which only made 56 million.
Right.
Ant-Man did 180 million. And then Days of Future Past with X-Men did 233. So it's already past that.
Wow.
Yeah. Amazing.
That's pretty cool. The one thing I want to tag on to the end, just like the movie, although I didn't see the movie and you guys did.
I saw it twice.
Right. I know. You made up for me. That was my $8.
It was that good.
Is the obvious thing, and I don't feel like we're spoiling, but if you want to click off for a second here, is the possibility of Cable becoming a character in this world. Now, X-Men is Sony, X-Force, I don't even know who would have that, or does X-Force exist on its own? Does Cable exist on his own? Because that's kind of a weird, he's a bizarre character anyway. He's one of the most convoluted characters. Like when I was younger and I was collecting comics, I had a ton of X-Force stuff. I loved the Cable stuff. I didn't actually realize what the hell I was reading until I was much older, and I'm like, what the hell is this? Like, he's a time traveler, he's part robot. I think he might be Deadpool's dad or something in some of these timelines. Like, I don't even know. Like, he comes in and out of timelines that are just like because he travels through time.
Right.
And then, yeah, he was also his own bad guy, I think, in one of the series. Like, he took the helmet off the final bad guy, and it was him. Again, I'm gonna probably have to explain that.
But yeah, the reason why I bring it up is because at the end of the movie, the reference that he will be in the sequel. They already got it in the works, and actually Stephen Lang, the guy who played the general from Avatar, the grizzly-looking scarred guy, awesome character, I think, by the way.
Yeah.
He's already posted a tweet saying, "Hey, I'm ready to be Cable when you guys need me."
Yeah.
And he's all in the gym just flexing and stuff. And I'm like, he looks pretty good for 3 or something.
He's 63 years old. Yeah. So I mean, the dude's in great shape. He has the look.
Oh yeah, already.
He's already got the Silver Fox thing going on. But yeah, I don't know. It's kind of cool though that he was like ready on it.
Yeah.
Like the dude was like, he was jacked on Instagram and he's like, "Fuck yeah, I'm gonna go for this part."
I mean,
especially being a character actor. Like,
yeah.
He works, but he's not.
And come on, if Stallone and Schwarzenegger can keep going, I'm sure this guy could go for another couple
This guy could do it, yeah, why not?
And use the digital youth regeneration on
to make him look
technology.
younger.
Yeah, if you need to when he gets a little bit in the series.
But you have to admit the Michael Douglas thing they did in Ant-Man was amazing. Like, because I didn't even realize it.
Neither did I.
And I'm like, holy, that was Michael Douglas when he was 20. Like, it was awesome. But yeah, let's what are we going to talk about next? Oh, VR. So let's talk about some VR. All right, guys. So now we're talking about the VR units, and I didn't know this. Yeah, I mean that's what we're coming to here. Is like this is the future, no matter if we like it or not.
I don't like
and
it.
Yeah, I'm not. We'll see when this happens. Apparently, it's all going down in April. At CES, they released a price point for the Oculus Rift, which is $600. That sounds normal now that the HTC has released what you're going to pay for the Vive,
right?
Which is $800. Now, if you don't know this, the Vive is not it's not a phone unit. Like when I heard HTC was doing it, I thought, okay, it's the same thing as the Samsung, where you drop your phone in it and it's your cool 3D video and you got some headphones and all this stuff. It's not that. It is a full freestanding VR unit that does actually Bluetooth to your phone. You can accept phone calls through the head unit, which is kind of weird.
Dad, it's needles.
Yeah. Like, that's also, like, kind of funny. It's like, what do phone calls then look like?
Did you see a sound wave or audio file or
like,
audio waves
or do
going?
you see a picture of the person? Or like...
I mean, that would be kind of cool if it was like FaceTime. And see you're on a conference call with like 3 other people. You can like look to this way. There's one person.
But then what do they see? Your eyes?
Oh, just a face, probably.
Just like a still image of your face?
Maybe.
Because the unit's only on your eyes, so it's like this close to your face,
right.
you know. So if it was you,
but if you're talking like on a video conference with people that aren't necessarily wearing the same thing,
like if they had their phone and doing like FaceTiming, that I could see that in like your view, but still, I mean, think about it. You get a FaceTime call, you gotta go set up your system, get the VR, put it on, power it up. You're like, oh, I missed the call.
Well, I think what they're saying too is that you'll be able to answer calls while you play.
Oh, okay.
You know, like because
they'll pause and
the thing will come in and you'll be able to hit your button or something and it'll take the call. Now the hard part with this is at $800. Now you're in console. You're actually beyond console range.
Way more.
And like I would much rather get a head unit for my Xbox or a head unit for a PlayStation, rather than buy a separate unit that plays games and does these things. Now, the HTC unit comes with 2 handsets and a pair of cubes that I think it's just a pair, that go on the floor that'll track your foot movement so that you can move around in space with the unit on. The 2 things I thought of right away, or the first thing I thought of right away was the Swagway. And how many videos of people just busting their
gosh.
ass? Now, how many times do you think somebody's going to walk down the stairs with their VR unit on? Or they're going to back into their couch?
Or have it catch fire on your head.
Or catch fire on your head. Or knock over your television.
Now, I just thought about this. Is the $200 price difference from the Oculus Rift because it comes with those extra tracking units?
Well, the Rift, I
controllers?
believe, has a unit too that you stand on.
Oh, really?
Originally, that was the concept behind the Rift.
Okay.
Was that you would have the unit that you stand in, but I don't know for sure. But there has to be a way that you move around in the space because that actually takes it to the new level. Otherwise, you could buy the cardboard, which I did.
Yeah.
Or you could buy the Samsung VR and you just have the wearable headset, which is awesome. And the other thing that you need for this to work is content. They're pitching, they have 12 games for the Vive that I believe are unique to the Vive. It's also powered by Steam, so that Steam is going to be, or Valve and Steam are going to be pumping out content. Now, what they do with it is the most important part because if it's novelty, is it $800 worth of novelty? Like, I don't have that kind of money.
Right, exactly.
You know, I can't believe people spent $500 on them stupid swagways or whatever the hell they are. Like, they're catching fire, which is awesome. But, like, yeah, so now you need content to make it worth your while.
Right.
Because I don't mind paying $350 for my Xbox. I'm not paying $800 for a unit with nothing to it.
And not only that, but also you need to have it hooked to a computer.
Yeah.
Just like the Oculus Rift, right? You have to have a
yeah.
PC to run the software.
Yes.
For it.
Because the unit has wires coming out of it. So,
Yeah.
I don't know how hooked or unhooked you are. Apparently, it's loose to your phone, which is Bluetooth, but you can't Bluetooth video. So, again, you're kind of coming up against this thing. Like, this is the future because big-ass companies have decided it is.
Right.
You know, Sony's involved, HTC, Samsung, all these companies are like, boom, this is you, this is us, this is it. And when I went to CES, companies I never even heard of all have VR units now.
Yeesh.
Even LG, I think, has a VR unit, but that's for the phone. But, like, again, it is the future somehow.
I'm looking at their like setup instructions, and they're recommending for the space to play in.
Yeah.
Is 6.5 feet by 5 feet.
Okay, that's pretty small.
Yeah, I mean, think about small apartments. How these people are going to be able to move their couch around or their coffee table around to be able to play in this space?
I don't know.
You know, think about apartments in New York. No one's going to be able to play with this.
Yeah,
Unless
not.
they throw away all their bedroom furniture, just make a room. Like I said,
Yeah,
like I said
anybody
before,
that's going to spend that kind of money on it, though, is probably going to have a bigger place.
that is true.
That's true. If you get $800 free cash for a toy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And again, I hope I'm wrong on this because I would love to see the future of, content and video and everything go to this, 3D wearable units. That's super cool. But at the same time, like, if we're diving into this too hard, you end up with a fad that just costs a lot of money. And
Like
again,
always.
Yeah, like always.
there's filmmaking stuff that can be done. There's also filmmaking stuff that I know that people won't like because filmmakers kind of like to be behind the camera, and when you shoot 360-degree video, you have to hide.
Yeah.
And you have to watch it remotely. And I know a lot of directors probably wouldn't like that unless you really planned your stuff. And so it's kind of tough. Like, I don't know if this is going to be it, but man, they're going whole hog into this thing. And I wonder when somebody's just going to come out with the market price one. Or
Yeah,
also,
exactly.
give me the one that's attached to Microsoft
Because even
or Apple or something, because therefore I know that this works.
Right.
Because I also wouldn't mind buying a unit for the Xbox as an auxiliary thing. I mean, it's bad enough I have a Kinect that I don't use.
That'd be cool if Apple made a console. My brother and I were talking about this yesterday.
Why not Apple TV? It could be integrated through that. Have a whole 360-degree video section?
Or that, or at least allow more games to be compatible with Mac. Because, I mean, right now, if you
That's
download
true,
Steam
too.
on your Mac, there's not that many games that are compatible with
That's always
Mac.
been an issue.
Yeah, it doesn't bother me too much because the Steam games that I play are available on here. So,
Yeah, see, that works.
in fact, you know what? I mean, out of all the games that I have, the only one that isn't compatible with Mac is Far Cry and Far Cry 2.
Oh.
So,
But still, you play Counter-Strike a lot. That would be pretty badass with a head unit on.
yeah.
Although it would be kind of weird. You'd be like,
Yeah.
like this, just sneaking.
I kind of like the keyboard and mouse orientation.
But still, I would like the keyboard mouse, but still, like, if my head was the swivel, although you would have to look behind you, and that would be tough.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Again, it's an interesting dilemma to have, to, like, what you can do, because the thing is limitless what you can do with it.
Yeah.
And a lot of it, too, is, like, Facebook is in this. The Oculus Rift they're really big on the travel thing, which is...
That would be really cool.
You're never going to make it to the Louvre. Here's the Louvre on video, and you could walk around and experience it. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens. This all comes out in April, so you can start ordering these things now if you got the money. But April is when everything starts to ship, and we'll see how this all plays out. But now let's move on to real video games on real consoles. So Rocket League finally dropped for the Xbox.
Yes, finally.
And I can't believe how stupid and excited I was for this game. Like, I was like a little kid. I saw it pop in the little corner of, like, play Rocket League on the Xbox window, and I was just like, what? I didn't know about this. Like, I knew it was coming.
Yeah,
but I didn't know when.
Yeah, same here too. Like, I was on the fence, like, oh, it's gonna come, I'll get it eventually. But then when it just dropped, and all my friends were like, get it, I'm like, oh, it's out now, cool.
Right.
And I was holding on because, like, I'll wait for a sale, whatever. But then you said you bought it, and then my other friends who I play online with said they bought it. So I'm
like, $20, like, right off the bat, and that's for that game done.
Oh yeah, definitely worth $20. Yes. Yeah. I just wish they had done the first month free, but like they did with the PlayStation.
Yeah,
that would have been awesome.
Yeah, that would have been cool. But like the nice part about the game, and like you were saying this too, the single player element is not great.
Well,
but man, playing with your friends when you're all just like screaming into the microphones and like because there's so much of the game is like completely out of your hands.
Yeah,
because you're a car trying to kick a ball, and it's completely ridiculous what you're trying to do.
Well, I guess you're kind of trying to rear end the ball.
Bicycle kick.
Flip your car.
Something.
And hit something. And then you can explode people, too, which is awesome, especially when you really just smoke somebody.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, guys, me and Matt actually did a Let's Play of Rocket League for the Xbox when it first came out, so go check that out. I'll put a little link in the description below, or you can click on the...
Yeah, or just check our page. It'll be one of the top videos on top. But yeah, like, if you're not familiar with Rocket League, it's a total blast. It's one of the most fun games you could play. And then also, in terms of fun games, we'll just get into this a little bit. The Division Beta, Open Beta, dropped on Friday. It was Friday for Xbox, Saturday for PlayStation.
Yeah, Xbox got a day early.
Yeah, we got it a day early. It's awesome, and I still have this weird trepidation. Like, I haven't pre-ordered yet. I know you have.
Oh yeah.
And like, I like the game. I like everything about it. And I'm just worried about like two of the elements, which is how far can the boss battles go? Because we did the first boss battle again. We're gonna rep our own channel and give us a free thing. Advertise my own shit, but like we shot the first boss battle with the Elgato, and it's awesome. It's so cool to fight this like super bad guy. But then I'm like, where else can this go? Because there's almost no science fiction element to this game. Yeah, there's no monster bad guy you can fight. It's a guy. Yeah,
he just has like a bunch of armor and a bunch of. He's just bulkier and bigger than the rest of the guys. But it seems to you, like you said, he's not mutated in any way. He's not super enhanced in any way. He's just a normal guy wearing a bunch of body armor.
Right. And like, because it's in this kind of post-apocalyptic New York, like it reminds me of like Resident Evil. Like, I want a giant monster to come ripping through the ground at one point, but then also you kind of laid it out for me, which is like, no, this is the RPG element of the game. Yeah, is what's going to keep you playing. Like, it's fun no matter what. Like, because you can have a random engagement at any time. A guy can run around a corner and just start attacking you, and you have no idea, and you just respond to it. So there's that, and then the other element that's got me worried is the Dark Zone, which is a completely unique element to this game, which is every game has PvP for the most part, where you play against each other. The Dark Zone is like this. Hey, do you want to be evil? Do you want to be good? Do you want to help people out? Or do you just want to kill people? Like, it's totally weird because you go into this element, and it's a section of the city that you go into, and you just walk around, and there's loot. there's also there's AI bad guys.
There's enemies.
So that you can get things, but then when you have things, everyone can see that you have things, and then other players can look at you and go, you know what, I want your shit.
Yeah.
And they could kill you and take your stuff, and then try to extract it themselves. And again, that sounds fun, and it is for the most part, until I started seeing the videos online, where these guys would roll between 3 and 6 people deep, and just run mobs on people.
Yep.
Where they would just, everybody who was around them, they would run rogue the whole time, and just wipe people out and just steal all their stuff. And again, with 6 guys, a single player or even a small group can't handle that. Not in that game. Not in that gameplay.
Yeah.
You know, there's no rockets or anything like that
No.
you can kind of level the playing field with.
Yeah, I mean, that's going to happen from time to time, but the experience I've had so far with the beta is people run in groups, but they're kind of protecting themselves. Like, I was a lone player by myself just playing in the dark zone, and I didn't have any loot on me because I was just wandering around shooting AI enemies. Yeah. And when I rolled up on this group that was trying to extract their goods, they actually, like, they were
afraid of you.
They were afraid of me. They surrounded me like, hey, this guy doesn't have any loot on him. Watch him. You know, he might come for us. Blah blah blah. Yeah. And I had to put up my email like, whoa, I'm okay, guys. I'm just watching, just watching.
And I've seen other stuff online where actually the worst place to be is the extraction zone.
Yeah.
Because all of a sudden you just see a player click, and he starts shooting. And once he starts shooting, because like everyone's like in this weird standoff mode.
Yep.
Where you're like, all right, I'm going to hang up my thing, and then you come hang up your thing. And then, like, 4th guy shows up, and he's just standing there, and you're like, shit. And he starts killing everyone, or he starts shooting at you, and then... I mean, it's a completely unique element. I love the innovation of that element, but I also see that could be really frustrating and go sour really fast. Because if you get players who go, well, screw it, I'm just not going to play that part of the game, that would suck. You know, that would be like if in Destiny you were just like, no Crucible, nothing.
Although
never gonna play it.
I think this game's gonna have a lot more story element and stuff for people to do solo. Because they said you could play the entire game solo if you want to. You don't have to be in the DZ. Yeah. You don't have to play with other people. You can do the whole entire game solo and replay missions. Yeah. So I think it'll work out for both.
I think it'll work out too. The open beta though was fairly limited, so I mean this game could be a lot bigger than we think.
Right.
Because there was whole portions of the city you can go in. You start off with a set of weapons, and I don't think you're going to do that in the future. I think you'll start either with basic or nothing.
Right.
And then build. But yeah. So that about does it for us, I think. Yeah, we're about to... I think we've run out of stuff to talk about. So, tune into our channel. We're going to have lots of more gameplay footage.
Yes.
You know, we're gonna crank that stuff out as fast as we can.
Next week is Iron Banner and Destiny, so me and Matt are going to jump on there to play some Iron Banner. I'll get a new little highlight reel off of that, so keep locked. Check it out.
Yeah, we'll do Iron Banner. Keep an eye on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook, and I think that's about it.
Well, I want to give a quick shout out to Dominic Jackson, who created our new graphics and our logos. So thanks a lot, buddy.
Yeah, awesome stuff, man. It's unbelievable. I love the green. It really pops for us. And
definitely.
It was nice to have someone who knows what they're doing, rather than I think I put that together with 3 triangles and whatever, trying to make my own graphics. But yeah, stay tuned, and we'll talk to you next time.
See you guys.